We are here welcoming everybody to the October 24th HHRC meeting, 2024. We don't appear to have quorum today, but we do have our new member here, Dr. Lindsay Ballstick. So we are called to order, and we won't be able to approve our minutes because of a lack of quorum. So we will put that off for the September minutes in our November meeting. So before we get started, I know that Lindsay, you have to be somewhere. So she just wanted to say hello and introduce herself.
Yes, and I can stay a little bit longer than I anticipated, so we're okay. But I'm Lindsay Ballstick. I'm a Hanover resident for the last, gosh, this is my 11th year living in Hanover. I work at Hanover College as the Dean of Students, and I'm excited to go start contributing to the Jefferson County community a bit more. So, yeah, thanks for having me.
Welcome, Dr. Ballstick.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you on board. As part of your membership, if you run into any other people who you think would make great additions to this board, we are still looking for new members. I think we still have 2 spaces open if people want to take that on. We have a website on the county website. You can just Google Jefferson County HHRC and it'll take you there. You're already on there. Sarah Morgan's amazing. I didn't even tell her to do anything and she added you. So basically there's a link on there where people can apply, and that's what you did. So you know that already, but you can just share that with people. So yes, great. We didn't have any agenda items submitted online that I'm aware of. And I don't think we have any public for input tonight, so it may be a shorter meeting, but we do have some topics to talk about. And I think I hear Tamika, who's going to join us. So since we don't have anybody for public input, we can look at action items. All right. So that was our new member update. There were website updates, as I mentioned. Lindsay was added, but I did also ask Sarah to put our past members in a section, and she did that, so that's all updated. I do have some photos from events that we've kind of been represented at, and I don't know. Oh, hello, Tamika. Welcome. Hello. Our new member, Dr. Falstick.
Hi.
Yes. I think y'all have probably met. So the website is updated, but I have photos from past events we've been at. I don't know if other commissions have photos on their website, but since we are such a community engagement type organization, I wanted to check and see if people were okay with having photos of our group when we are out with the community being on there. Okay.
I think that'd be great.
I don't think we need an official vote for that. I just wanted a confirmation. Okay.
Sarah should go
Okay, we'll do that. Great. So website updates, new member update, and review the fair housing ordinance. So we got the fair housing ordinance, last time we were here, and, Commissioner Breimer sent it out to us earlier as well. Did people get a chance to review it a little bit? Okay, great. Did anybody have any kind of outstanding questions to begin with? I was looking into it a little bit, and I was I'm comparing it to the federal fair housing standards, and found it very similar in wording, which I'm not sure if that was an intentional thing, but they kind of aligned right along with it. One thing that, since it came up kind of at the Pride celebration with some people that were there, from other counties who had like done special ordinances in their counties. I did see that, especially um, in this section where it says missing material, what has that been added?
Probably not. So, just the first section.
Yeah, so basically because of familial status, then under it says missing material, and that has 2 and 3.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, because those were the parts that were really aligned with like the federal laws surrounding fair housing. But so I didn't know if that material was added or not. I just wanted to confirm. And some of the other questions I had were like towards the end under administration, just like letter Q, on page 8. It says that commissioners administer it, and that y'all are able to delegate. And I was just wondering if y'all had any delegations that, okay. And then I was wondering if we've had any complaints or like reasons to use this at all so far that we know of.
I haven't heard of any. I'll talk to Sarah, be the one to find out. So I'll ask her.
Okay. And then, yeah, that missing material section, that was the main question, if that was still missing or if it has been adopted. And especially under like the race, color, religion, sex, familial status, handicap, or national origin. Under the national law, sex also includes sexual orientation and gender identity. And so that's something I wanted to confirm is like part of that as well. I think those are all the questions I have for now. I think the only other thing that not really a question, but since there haven't been complaints, like if there like a process set up, if there are complaints, so we can like help people like begin that process if there were a complaint.
So if you look on the amendment or the ordinance from 2006,
Okay.
the bottom, there's some of that,
Okay.
which you were.
With the gender, perceived actual or perceived sexual orientation, gender identity.
Yeah, so I wonder if that was,
Great.
that missing material is supposed to be this. I'll ask Sarah to see if that's what we were, when we amended it, were we just replacing what was there with this? So, but I'll double check.
Okay. That's great. Yeah. I looked at the last page. But good, I'm glad that's there. But thank you for checking. Wonderful. Great. We were also in our last meeting talking about if we needed to talk to anybody else, like HMI, or what was it?
Ohio Valley.
OVO.
Yeah, they're the local housing appointed group that takes care of this. So if you want to.
Would y'all be interested in hearing from OVO to see if they notice any like particular health or human relations topic things towards housing in their community.
I think so. Would their primary interaction with it be advocating and assisting people who have concerns through the process?
Well, I think they would be the state agency that kind of, so I think it'd be good, because I don't think a lot of people would think of Ohio Valley as the place to go to. So just like we've tried with a number of other organizations, get that information out to folks
Yeah.
so they know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
They have a new executive director too, and probably he would enjoy coming.
okay. You know,
A get to know you thing and an
Yeah,
information.
Brett would.
Oh, you want to know
Yeah.
that?
you want to reach out?
Yeah, I can reach out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, were there any other questions or further discussion about the fair housing ordinance as is? We can always come back to it next time too, since we have some absent members.
It'd be good when they're here to talk to them, to see are there other things that would fit in there or should be in there.
Okay.
So,
Great. Wonderful. So that checks off that bullet point. Then we'll probably put that in. I'll go ahead and make a note to put in the minutes for, not minutes, the agenda for November. Other things, just some follow-up of action items. I feel like there was something that I did. Oh, I went to a meeting. I went to a meeting about, the possible community center or YMCA, with the organization that is, the Jefferson County Health Initiative, that is still working kind of in that direction. So just as an update on that, that was like almost a month ago, but I took notes. Lindsay Hunt was the presenter for the organization. She let us know about kind of recent activities that they're doing. They did a market study that led to a lot of conversation and activity, but also a lot of hurrying up to wait. So we're not hearing a lot from them right now. They weren't able to give us a lot of information because they have entered an NDA with some partners to have deeper conversations. So they can't disclose a lot of information currently, but what they were able to disclose, they are working on a vision statement. They've done some site visits with other communities to see their facilities. They're working on a capital campaign to make sure that it's a sustainable project. They're working on raising $200,000 to get everything started. And then they'll secure more funding. And they're kind of establishing a structure for their organization. And that's part of what the NDA is. There were some questions and things like that that came up in the meeting. Some people had concerns about the state of the Switzerland County YMCA, since if we had a YMCA, it would be under their umbrella. So they just don't know what would happen if the Switzerland County YMCA were to cease to exist. But they think there would be a way forward if that were to happen. They're looking for major movement in about, I guess it would be about 5 months, because it was 6 months when they had a meeting. They're focusing on Madison for the location, but are looking at potential locations, and they're not looking at grants yet, but looking for a grant writer. So that's kind of what they are up to right now. And if you have questions about that, feel free to ask. I do not know if I can answer them, but there's lots of progress from what it sounds like. Okay. So I think that's all for action items. And we know that the commissioners approved recommendation of Dr. Falstick, so that's good. Only other thing I think we need to talk about are any other new business that anybody wanted to bring up. And then we'll talk about meeting dates for the future. Any discussion or new items? The only thing I have, is that, earlier in the year, we met with Safe Passages and, we met with the sheriff. And we know that led to, kind of a training that happened over the last month. I was not able to attend it. I had some other obligations that day. I've not heard how it went. Has anybody heard anything about it?
Did it happen?
It was one at Ivy Tech.
Yeah, it's that. I saw it announcement, I thought that was like. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna follow up with that. There is another event happening,
Maybe I saw it.
within kind of the same topic put on by the Kindness Jefferson County Group. So I don't know if that
Okay,
came from
maybe
the
that's the
training. But they're having an event. I made it really small. Let me make it bigger. Yeah, they are hosting an event with Safe Passages this weekend on Saturday, October 26th from 3 to 5 p.m. At 975 Industrial Drive in Madison, so at Venture Out Business Center. And so basically a 2-hour event to talk about domestic and sexual violence services available in the community. So it sounds like kind of a spin-off event of what happened earlier in October, I think on the 8th, was the training. So if you are interested in going, there's an RSVP to Chelsea Markham. I can share that information if anybody wants to go. I'm going to be going out of town that day, and I have a volleyball match I must attend. So, so I don't think I'm going to make it, but I want to make sure everybody is aware of that as an option.
That's this Saturday,
Mhm.
26, 3 to 5 p.m. at the Venture Out Business Center.
That's correct. Excellent, thank you. Mhm.
On our follow-up, and I could have missed it. We were following up on, the property by Chelsea where it was being sprayed.
Yeah.
And I do not remember if we ever,
Yeah, the wetlands that got
Yes.
sprayed like a year ago.
yeah,
Yeah, I think there was something was addressed with that with local governments.
Yeah, I mean, I think they thought it was the county highway department, but it was the electrical company. So they've had some discussions. I don't know. I can check out and see, but there, I think there was some
Whenever I
discussion. with-
drive by there, that's the first thing I think of. I'm like, I need to ask that question and see where we are with that.
Okay.
So it's just there, that direction, so that's what made me.
Top of mind.
Yeah.
Great.
It
Thanks
would
for
make
making
sense to write notes and,
Right.
about myself that way.
Don't do that in the car.
So would you want me to include that as an action item?
I'll just check and see on the
Yeah,
status.
just follow up to see the outcome of the previous discussion around wetland spraying.
Great. That's probably a good practice to circle back a year later to make sure that what had happened before was going forward still, so. All right. Wonderful. Any other events that anybody thought that would be appropriate for us to be at or be aware of? I think it's really good we didn't schedule this meeting on Halloween because I think they're having a trunk or treat in the parking lot. That would have been hard. And very disappointing for the kids when we parked all the cars here without candy.
I know that there were a group of college students at Hanover that were hosting an accessibility carnival this weekend.
that's right.
I think that one of their lessons learned was around promotion and kind of getting that message out to their audience. And so this was kind of a first attempt, and I think that there's definitely a foundation it's something that they choose to continue to do in the future, I can make sure that it's, mentioned here too.
Sure.
Great.
Yeah, yeah. It may be good for them to collaborate with the kindness group to get the sensory activation vehicle there and all that stuff. That would be fun. They are busy. They are everywhere.
Yeah.
All the time. So yes, we could probably be well reminded that if people want to volunteer with that vehicle, there are options for volunteering through that group or the vehicle. And that might be something that they could promote at that thing.
I remember one of their challenges, at least I perceived it as a challenge with, their soliciting of volunteers was that I think that their schedule of college students wasn't as consistent as they would likely need, especially with the volume of festivals and things like that in Madison in summer.
Sure, that makes sense. Maybe if there's local students or something like that that are engaged in it, we can target them.
Yeah. And they have to get so many volunteer hours before they graduate. So that might be something we can bring to our guidance counselor, that is another option.
Yeah.
For them to get volunteer hours.
Yeah, sounds good. And something they can put on their resume.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a good one. All right. So the last few things for this meeting, unless anybody else has any new business. We need to set future meeting dates, so we have them well in advance. Our next one is Friday, November 22nd, and that one is actually a Friday. Because I think there was conflict on that Thursday. Yeah. So we need a December meeting or to decide if we're going to have a December meeting, because I know schedules are really hard in December.
I'm looking at the past minutes to see what we had done last year around December
I
time.
think we just had a January meeting.
Yeah, what we did is we moved the January meeting to the beginning of the month. So we met on November, the 30th, and then met again on January the 4th. That's the next meeting after that.
They always at 6.
So we're gonna do the 22nd on November, correct?
Yep.
Okay, and then we are not doing one on December, is that right?
We're talking about.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're trying to decide is if we think we can reasonably have a late December meeting. I know that's right around like two major holidays. And a lot of people travel that time of year.
Don't you do the 19th?
We'll be early now.
The commissioner meeting. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, yeah, and, Christmas Day is a Wednesday,
I
New Year's Day is a Wednesday.
would propose
An early January,
the January meeting.
kind of as we did last year.
Yeah, January the 2nd is that Thursday. But I don't know if you want to look at that or the 9th.
I think I'm good with the second. And then we can maybe. Maybe have one on the 30th, which is like still 4 weeks later. So double up on January since we missed December.
I think just so that we know what happened last year, I think as we met at the beginning of January and then at the end of February,
Oh, at the end of February.
it was quite a
There was a big gap
gap
there.
there.
Well, there doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, for now, let's propose January 2nd. And then January 30th. And And then the February one would be the 27th. Does that seem reasonable? That's still 4 weeks after the 30th.
That's not what I'm planning, isn't it? On the 27th.
That would be us getting back on schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it doesn't look like a major holiday around there. President's Day is the 17th, so. I'll note it there, and then if there's issues with any of those at our next meeting, we can discuss with our other members.
I'll be well rested with the new mattresses that we got on sale.
Yeah, President's Day mattress sale. Oh, okay, February 27th. The only other thing we need to do, is to review, action items for our next meeting. Do you have a list or do you need a moment to compile?
I have, Lindsay Falsick while I'm invite Brad Wood from OBO to a future meeting to discuss the fair housing plan. And then I have David Brink who will follow up to see the outcome of the previous discussion regarding the wetland spring. Anything else that needs to be added? I'll also add approval of minutes, just as a general note, so that we'll remember to do that.
Yeah, it's the last time we did that. I was very confused. September and October minutes. Okay. Is there anything anyone else just wants to do as an action item? Okay.
Just because.
No. Well, then I think we have achieved the entire agenda. So number 8 on our agenda is adjournment. So I'm going to move to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'm going to do seconds. So we are adjourned.